Welcome again to Joe's Stunner Boxing. I hope you're doing well. Deontay Wilder. Now, since being defeated by Otto Wallin, he's been talking his usual stuff, his usual blather. And I'll go through a little bit of what he said. You may have heard some of it already, but that's not really what I want to focus on. But he was talking about the fact that his timing was off. I think he mentioned that in the post-fight interview while he was still in the ring. He was talking about the fact that AJ was delighted he lost, that Wilder lost, because it means he doesn't have to fight the great, scary Deontay Wilder. And he was saying that Joshua was celebrating that he lost, and all this sort of stuff. And you kind of expect this from Deontay Wilder because he's just... he's never been the brightest bulb in the floodlight. But certainly, he also talked about lacking what has been colloquially described for last few decades since Rocky III as the eye of the tiger. Okay, he lacks the spite and he lacks the nastiness. And yeah, that bit makes perfect sense because his performance against Parker was absolutely bizarre. But what really struck me was an interview that I listened to on a channel called 78 Sports TV. It's an American channel, and it was an interview post-fight with Deontay, and it lasted for about 60 or 70 minutes. It was quite a long interview. And what really hit me about Wilder was that he sounds punch drunk. He was slurring his words. I don't know whether he'd been having some of that Amazon brew he likes to drink on, and maybe he was away with the fairies when the interview took place. But he rambled, and for the majority of the interview, I didn't really know what he was trying to say. I couldn't really... He would zip from subject to subject. He would, talk about one thing, then he would veer off onto a tangent and blah, blah, blah. It was all just bizarre to listen to. And it smacked of a man who was either drunk, off his moobs on God knows what, other than alcohol, or really had just completely and utterly lost the plot. Now, Deontay Wilder, some might say, has never had the plot. He couldn't lose it because he's never had it. Well, that makes some sense as well. We're all familiar with all his accusations against Fury cheating and all this sort of stuff. All complete rubbish. But this was something else. I advise you to go over and listen to this interview. 78 Sports TV is the channel. They got a ton of subscribers. I think it goes to hundreds of thousands or something like that. No, the tens of thousands, not the hundreds of thousands. So it's not a small channel. But I think if it isn't a case of Wilder being punch drunk, hopefully, he didn't really strike me as being punch drunk post-fight. He sounded quite lucid, as well he should have been, because he didn't put much effort into the fight. He did get clocked a few times, Maybe it knocked some sense into him, I don't know. But it seemed to me during that interview that this guy is just completely all at sea. And it's something more than just the normal rubbish that he talks. All this delusional crap about Joshua being scared of him and being delighted he lost, but also since then, since the Wallin fight, Wilder has said that he's not interested in fighting. Not the Wallin fight, the Parker fight. Excuse me. Wilder has said, "I'm not interested in a rematch with Parker. I still want to fight Joshua." Well, you kind of blew it, Deontay. I know that you had the March the 9th for your first of your two fights earmarked, but you lost, mate. You can't just go over to Saudi, take their paycheck and put no effort in, fight like that, or if you can call it fighting. You can't give a bizarre, inexplicable non-performance like that and then expect to get another bag for fighting AJ. Although Joshua himself has said, yeah, I'm sure me and Wilder can still fight. It's not a problem. Far from wallowing in Wilder's defeat, Joshua was. I mean, why would he wallow in Wilder's defeat? He wants to fight Wilder because that's where a lot of the money is. Unless you believe he's genuinely scared of Wilder, which I don't believe at all. So Wilder is saying, yeah, I still want to fight him. Well, I don't know. Can that be sold? Are the Saudis going to trust you again to come over and put on any kind of showing when you were so bad, you were so awful against Parker? Are they going to give you more money? I mean, I know they got money to burn, literally, considering where their money comes from, which is all oil. But you've got to put something in. You've got to give something back. And to say your timing was off, and to even acknowledge, well, I was out of the ring for a long time, and yeah, you were out of the ring for 2.5 years, given a less than one round against Hellenius. I mean, apart from that, that was your lot. But you knew that before the fight. What did you take the fight for if you didn't think you could win it? I assume you did think you could win it. You were certainly talking that way beforehand, although you were doing it with a big old Cheshire cat grin on your face. But anyway, getting back to this interview that he gave, he just seems, I don't think he knows what he wants to be, what he wants to do. I don't think he knows really where he is in life. He talks about being greatly contented and happy, and certainly post-fight, it was almost like he was saying, well, boxing, take it or leave it, I'm happy, whatever happens, I'm happy. And then in a post-fight interview, he will say, well, I need to get back a bit of nastiness, but then he'll say, well, but I'm okay, I'm doing good, I think life's never been better. And no, I think there needs to be a quick turnaround for Mr. Wilder. Say March, April, May time, he needs to get in there with a viable top tenner. And he doesn't have any interest in fighting Parker again. He said it out of his own mouth. Could the fight with Joshua still go ahead? Anything's possible in boxing. Anything's possible. But if it's not AJ, it's got to be someone who's a threat. Someone who can really put it on Wilder and make him fight. I mean, Parker at times was putting it on Wilder, but it took him maybe 3 rounds to get into it. He was kind of very, very cautious, understandably so, of the right hand. And then when he realised that all Wilder was interested in doing was ice skating around the perimeter of the ring, he thought, okay, I'm going to go for it now. And of course, Andy Lee said, we expect a knockout win. They didn't get it, but they did dominate Wilder. I think Wilder needs to get back in the ring soon, just so that he knows and we know what he's got left. He's 38 now. Can he regain all that luster that he's lost? I doubt it. Where he is at his life at the moment, all the yes men he's got around him, including a trainer who, I did a separate video on this. The ongoing joke is that Malik Scott has turned Deontay Wilder into Malik Scott, Mark II. And I actually think, all joking aside, that's a pretty decent call. Can Wilder regain some of that stature? I doubt it. But we need to see him against someone else, if he still wants to fight. A viable opponent who can put, not someone who's a knockover job, but someone who comes to win. And we need to see what he's got left. And we need to see it, for his sake, relatively quickly. Because he's had that 10 rounds with Parker. God forbid he should go another year without any activity. He needs to get back in pretty quick, within the next 3, 4, 5 months. And then we'll see what he's got. But I didn't like what I heard. Just the slurring of his words, the rambling. I mean, this wasn't the usual blather he talks. This was something altogether different. It was really quite disturbing to listen to. But go and have a listen. Go and have a listen to this interview. Like I say, it's on 78 Sports TV. Tell me what you think. And leave your comments below. Where do you think Wilder is at this point of his career? Do you think he's got anything left? Do you think he still wants to fight? But yeah, listen to this interview. Tell me what you think, because I found it very, very disturbing. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, you could subscribe. That would be great. Please hit the like button as well. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a great 2023 for this channel, and it's all down to you. Thanks a lot. And looking forward to reading what you've got to say. And I'll catch you later. Bye for now.